Okay, I'm gonna put this down. It's really heavy. Okay. Oh. Hi everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. How are you all? It's the new year, which can only mean one thing. New bags! And I happen to have a ridiculous amount of points on my Waterstones card that I saved all year, and I very kindly was given book vouchers for Christmas. So I bought, wait for it, drum roll, 32 books. I know, it's a lot. Whoa. I've got a beautiful box over here, so let's get started, because this is a lot of books to get through. So I bought some cloth pound classics, I should say, because I really love them, and I've just started a collection. You can probably see from this gap here, this is where they belong. So I got Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, which, have I read this? Yes. Do I have another copy? Yes. Do I need another copy? Absolutely, obviously, look at it. And then I also got Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, which, shocker, I have not read. I am very familiar with the Muppets version though. Things will be a little different, but I'm excited for it. Look at it. Woo, there's parrots. Gonna be good. At least I hope so. And then the other edition I got was Orlando, and I have to be honest, this is one thing. I don't know what this is meant to be, but it's pretty. And I recently read this novel and I like it. So there we go. So there's those to start off with. And then I have, this is just whatever comes out of the box. I have no idea what order this is in. I have Carolyn Duffy's Feminine Gospels, which I have read because I'm a terrible person, and sometimes when I buy books for friends, I read them before I give it to them, and I bought this for a friend, and I read it before I gave it to them, and then I thought, that's really good, so I bought my own edition. It's my favourite collection of Bread of Hairs so far. It's about feminine spaces and where they are missed. My favourite poem is the one about how women have been excluded from history because they were never allowed to enter those male spaces, and why there aren't impressive women in every field as many as there are men. And then our poetry collection, we've got Death of a Naturalist by Seamus Heaney. Sorry, I should have said that in my Northern Irish accent. Death of a Naturalist by Seamus Heaney, which I'm going to save for the Irish read along in March. Very excited about this. I think this is an early collection and it did really well when it came out, so lovely. And then, this might seem a bit random, but I was very seduced by the cover. This is The Bloomsbury Look by Wendy Hitchmell. I have to say, this is beautiful, right? But now, I look at that and I think it looks a bit pouty, like, or maybe like, I can't unsee that now. But it is all about the Bloomsbury group, so Vanessa Bell, her sister Virginia Woolf, Duncan someone, and that whole aesthetic group of writers and artists and their work together, and there are chapters on dress and shizzle. It just looks beautiful. It has lots of pictures. I like books with pictures, and it just sounded like a really interesting way to look at that group of artistic individuals. Woohoo! And then I have, I should also say I don't know a lot about a lot of these books. I've just bought them because I've wanted them for ages and have forgotten why they sounded good or who said about them. But this one, The Makioka Sisters by, oh no, Junichiro Tanizaki. I'm so sorry, that's definitely not right, who I believe is Japanese. And I think it's one of those stories about a family over many generations. And that's all I know, but I remember Anne from Beyond the Pages loved it, among others. So would really like to read this. It's the only really long book I think I bought. Most of what I bought are short. It's 560 something pages, so yeah. But it's meant to be his masterpiece, and I read one book by him that's really short and really different. So this will be good, hopefully. And then the other poetry book that I bought is New and Selected Poems Volume 1 by Mary Oliver, who I recently discovered last year, and I love her poems. My favourite poem by her is Wild Geese. Look it up if you haven't already. It's very good, and she just has very kind of hopeful poetry. I like that, but also just really well written about the human condition. That'll be nice. And then I have I have a lot of classics. I basically got this with the classics community in mind. This is The Cop and the Anthem and Other Stories by O. Henry, who I've never heard of before. I think he was American, but I posted this on a TBR and lots of people said he's great, or they've really enjoyed him in the past and they hope I read this. So I also love the cover. I'm collecting a lot of these editions now, and this is one of their new ones, and I just thought, well, that's great. For the cover alone, I'll buy that. And I knew nothing about it, but I got it, and it's always fun to find new authors. And then an author who is not new to me, this is Jazz by Toni Morrison, because I've read The Bluest Eye and I've read Beloved, which are two of her most famous, and I thought, let's try and read one that I know nothing about and that isn't very well renowned. And I think it's about Joe Trace, who's a door-to-door salesman, and I think he has a breakdown or something, but I'm not sure. But I think it's over a very short space of time. I think it takes place over a day or something like that, and that sounded intense to me, and her writing is exquisite. So even though this isn't super well known like Beloved, I'm sure it will still be a fantastic read. What's next? Okay. No, that doesn't belong there. Why are you in that box? Then we have Vera by Elizabeth von Arnim, who I've read 2 novels by before. I've read The Enchanted April and I've read Elizabeth's German Garden. So, this is a later novel, i.e. hopefully it's good because she's matured her writing style. And I don't remember much about this. It gives me kind of Rebecca vibes when I did read the plot. Oh, it's by Lucy Entwistle and Everard Wemyss. What a name. And I think it's the idea of they get married, but Vera is his ex-wife and there's kind of like a haunting presence, I think. So, yeah, excited to read this. Woohoo. And then we have a book called The Age of Light by Whitney Schara? I don't know. But it's about Lee Miller, and that's the whole reason I got it, because Lee Miller was an incredible photographer, model, war journalist, and I did a project on her in school. She's fascinating. I'll put a picture of her up here. She was stunning, but also just like such a good photographer. And I've seen exhibitions on her and stuff like that. So this is fictional, but I think it's about her life, and that appealed to me immensely. Also, Elizabeth McNeil, who wrote Dole Factory, which was one of my favourite books last year, I believe. Loved this book and recommended it, so that's good enough for me. But I really, really don't know much about it. Then we have some of these lovely editions that I'm also collecting. Yeah, I have got A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett because, again, shocker, I haven't read this. I've only read The Secret Garden. I know, crazy. And this just seemed like something I should have read. And I think it's sadder than the film. I've only seen the film. But I think it will still be nice because I like Secret Garden. That was one of my favourite books as a child. So hopefully this will also be nice, even though I'm not a child anymore. Another childhood classic that I haven't read. I feel very embarrassed about this. I shouldn't be embarrassed. It's fine. But this is Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And I have to confess, my nana bought me a beautiful edition that I wish I kept now of this book because I asked for it for my birthday. And then I read the first sentence, which is a whole paragraph, and thought, well, that's the end of that then. Not going to bother with that. I just gave up. I never tried again. But I've heard it's a lovely story. And I want to watch Anne with an E on Netflix, but I want to read this book, at least this book. I don't know if I'll bother with the rest of the series. If anyone has read beyond the first one, let me know if it's worth continuing with, because I'm open to it, but I technically am not really a series gal. But if it's nice, if you can convince me, I'll do it. But I need to start with this one. Also, can we just take a second? Look at this edition. Look at it. Oh my goodness. And then the last kind of childhood classic I haven't read. Okay, I read half of it, guys. Like half of it. I read some of it, but it's The Railway Children by E. Nesbit. And I saw a play of this, and it was the most beautiful thing in the world, and I cried at the end with the daddy part. That probably isn't even in the book. I don't know, maybe it is. I hope it is. Oh, please tell me my daddy bit's in the book. But I loved the film growing up, and I just need to read this because I think, again, these are the kind of stories that are probably quite nice for now, just quaint children's stories. That's what we all need right now, isn't it? And two kind of adult novels that I'm excited about in these editions as well is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. Look at that. That's such a mood right there. And I think this is about high society. I think it's set in the 19th century, though it was written in the 20th century. I think it's about an affair and there's some scandal and ruin or something. I watched the film a long time ago, so I can't remember much. But I read The House of Mirth and Summer by Edith Wharton and loved them. I think this is meant to be her most famous novel or her best novel, so this will be so nice to read. I can't wait. And then the last one in these editions is Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Look at the little house. Can you see? It's about a guy, I think, going off into the wilderness and living isolated in the woods, and that, again, felt like quite an appropriate read at this time. And also look at the little guy in the back. I don't know if it's biographical. I feel like somewhere I read that the author went and did this, but I don't know. Maybe it was just his imagination. But I'm very excited to read that. So, we're on to more books. We're on to On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, which has been thrown around a lot. And I really want to try and read more Asian authors this year. So, here we go, trying, and it's a letter from a son to a mother who can't read. That's right, and that's all literally all I know about it going in. I kind of don't want to know much more about it, but I know he's a poet, and like I enjoyed The Bell Jar, I expect this to be really excellent prose. Exciting. Then I have, this is very out there for me, a Uruguayan author. This is Who Among Us by Mario Benedetti, and I heard about this from the Artisan Geek, and I don't really know much about it. I just know it's a modern classic, and it was on her Patreon book club, and I didn't get to read it when everyone else was reading it. But I'm, always late to the party. But I thought, well, I'll read it later. I've never read anything from that country for sure. So this could be the start of a new literary interest. Who knows? Another literary classic, a modern classic I got is The Heart is a Lonely Hunter by Carson McCullers, which intrigued me because it has a protagonist who's a mute. I think there's two mutes, and it's set in America. And I know that she had quite a tragic life, so I'm not expecting this to be a really happy book. But the idea of having protagonists with that kind of disability was fascinating to me. And I think I read the beginning in the bookshop and thought, well, that sounds good. And then the only black penguin classic that I've got is The Lost Estate, or Le Grand... Oh no. Look at me attempting French like I can say this right. Mélinier, that's not right, by Alain Fournier. Sorry everyone. It was really overambitious. And this is a book that I bought because Susie Dent from Countdown fame of Dictionary Corner recommended this on the Mahoosive website, and I thought, well, that sounds really good. I think it's a coming of age story. Really don't know. I'm happy to not know much going in. These gloves are very dangerous, so I'm going to not look at it because they have spoilers so often. Next up I have All the Lives We Never Lived by Anuradha Roy. Probably didn't say that right, soz babes, but I've heard about this because I think it was shortlisted for the Walter Scott Prize, and it's set in India, or at least deals with India when it's struggling for independence. I think it's set in the 30s, and it's a character's journey, I think, out of India and going back to the roots of what's going on there and the conflict. And I just think that's fascinating. Then I have another book by India Preferred. This is Gypsy Goddess by Meena Kandasamy, who wrote When I Hit You, which I loved so much, man. Yeah. So, I don't know when this is set, but I think it's about the local people in, is it Tamil Nadu, local villagers rebelling against landlords and protesting for their rights, and I think also about the spiritualism in that country and how the people are struggling against control. So I don't know if this is set during the colonialist era, because they weren't liberated till 46, so it's possible, but whether or not it is, I just thought it would be really good to read another one of her books, because I'm sure if it's anything like When I Hit You, I'm going to love it. Woo! And then go back to classics, we have Where Angels Fear to Tread by E.M. Forster. I know nothing about this, but I have read 4 novels of his so far, and I've enjoyed all of them, so I feel like this is hopefully going to continue the trend. Literally no idea though. Haven't even looked at the blurb. Don't want to. It's dangerous. The blurbs are so dangerous. I didn't expect Michael Jackson to come out, but you're welcome. And then I have Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton, which I suppose, this is probably a novella. There's a long debate. How long does it have to be before it's a novel or a novella? I say over 100 pages, but I think this is... Oh, it's on the cusp. You guys! It's like 102 pages? 103. Oh, I'm going to say this is a novella. But, again, know nothing about it. Just sold because it's Edith Wharton. Gonna be tragic? Hell yeah! Am I down for that? Absolutely. Woo! And then... Look at all these classes I don't know anything about. What a great haul this is. The Secret Agent by Joseph Conrad. Listen, I have to be real with you here. I have only read The Heart of Darkness by Conrad. I did not like it at all. I mean, horrible racism aside and colonialism aside, I just, even though it's short, found it such a struggle to get through. Had to really push myself to finish it. So I'm hoping this is better, but I think this is set in England. So hopefully there won't be any of that racist bullshit to deal with. And I know nothing about it, but the Secret Agent title intrigued me. I know it was adapted for television a little while ago, so maybe I'll watch that afterwards, but it's not very long and hopefully it will be more exciting than Heart of Darkness. Whoa, that book was a mess. Then the last one of these editions that I've got is The Day of the Locust by Nathaniel West. And I, again, don't know much about this, but I think it's set in Hollywood, which is why I was interested in it. What have we got next? Books we have... Oh, look at this cover. Amazing. On Black Sister Street by Chika Unegwe. And this cover stopped me in a bookshop and I almost bought it, but I was strong. But I have got it now. And it's about 4 different women who've made the journey from Africa to, I think, Brussels? Yes! The Red Light District. And the most get-going enigmatic one is murdered. And it's how that shatters their friendship and feeling of safety. And that's all I know about it, but it sounds good. And I'm thinking of doing a video talking about, or just picking provocative reads for the train. I think that'd be quite fun, and this would definitely be on it. Oh, I was wrong, we have another one of these. This is Passing by Nella Larson. And this has a film coming out soon with a really good cast, and I'm very excited about it. And I think it's about... Is it sisters? No, it's just about a woman who is light-skinned and can pass for white. It makes you think a little bit of The Vanishing Half, which I was going to get because it was half price, but then I dilly-dallied too long picking which books I wanted, and then it was sold out, and I was so sad, you guys. But it's okay, because obviously I got different books instead. But still, it was half price. Anyway, I will get that and read that at some other point. But I got this, and that's exciting. I love these kind of broken teacups on the cover. So cool. Okay, that really is the last one of that. And I have another book. I love this cover. Look at that. Striking. This is Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu, and I think it won the National Book Award in America. And I got this because Matthew Schraffer recommended it, and I think it's written in this really interesting way. So it's kind of like a script, and I think it's about a guy who I don't think he even has. Oh no, Willis Wu. There we go. Who is trying to get to play a generic Asian man, but he's always playing worse stereotypes than that. So I think that's why it's written like a script, and it's a lot about the Orientalism and how negatively that affects them in America and how typecast Asian people are. It sounds really clever and such an innovative way to write a novel. I'm very excited about this. I think I'm going to take part in the Asian Readathon in April, so I'm going to save it for then. Exciting, exciting, exciting. And then we're nearly there, you guys. Then I've got Summer Water by Sarah Moss, which I think is along the same lines of Ghost War. If you like Ghost War, I think it's that same kind of thing, where it's, I think, a holiday place, and she uses that setting and the collision of different families and people of opposing views to comment on the state of the world and what the heck's going on. And then last but not least we have... Go away. Okay. Love in Colour, Mythical Tales from Around the World, retold by Bolu Babalola. And this was highly recommended from Lauren and the Books which sold me immediately, to be honest. But it's looking at, I think it isn't just fairy tales, I think there's some Greek stories in there as well, but it's decolonising the idea of love and taking out those negative tropes that are in so many fairy tales, I suppose, and making it relevant. And I think it's from different global perspectives, and it just sounds just really exciting, because I've read quite a lot of the traditional fairy tales by Grimm's and Hans Christian Andersen, but I haven't read fairy tales that are written by someone who's black, quite frankly. So this will be really exciting, and I just can't wait to read all of these books. I know I'm really, really lucky to be able to have these. I hope this wasn't too boring, and let me know what you think I should read first. I just find it hard to choose, it's slightly overwhelming, but I'm going to rearrange all my books now, and I will see you soon for Bookish Shenanigans. Bye!